It's in Google Classroom. Okay, just so you guys know, I am re-recording. My recording did not turn out very well from this morning, so we're gonna try it again. Hi, Christian. Okay, so go ahead and get out your 4.1. So we're gonna go over it really fast. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Luke and Willow, I already took a look at your guys' answers. They're excellent. You don't need to resubmit them. So you guys can help and participate and kind of relax for the next few minutes, okay? So everyone can see what we're doing. I do expect participation in the chat, not necessarily your mic, but the chat has absolute yes. So for 4.1, you need to have written down either carbon dioxide or water, okay? For number 2, you need to write the opposite. So if you wrote down carbon dioxide for 1, then you needed to write water for 2. If you wrote water for 1, then you need to have written CO2 for number 2, okay? Now the products, so these are the raw materials. The products would be sugar and breathable oxygen, dioxide, excuse me. So the same thing applies for 3 and 4. If you wrote sugar down, then 4 needs to be oxygen. If you wrote oxygen for 3, then you needed to write sugar for 4, okay? Now, 5 asks, what are the raw materials for photosynthesis? So the raw materials for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, you're gonna write it either way, and water, you can write it either way. Now the products, the final things that happen after the chemical change, you get glucose or sugar, it's the same thing, and breathable oxygen or O2, or also known as dioxide. So these need to be written down, okay, for number 6. So 5 and 6. 7 asks, why is sunlight written above the arrow in the equation rather than on either side of the equation? Sunlight is energy and the cause of the chemical reaction of the CO2 and H2O. It is not a raw material or product of photosynthesis. Willow wrote this one right here. I'm so proud of Willow. You did great. 8. Where does photosynthesis occur? It occurs in the chloroplasts. Okay, so it occurs in the chloroplasts. 9. It gives you the definition. You have to find the word. The process by which a cell captures the energy in sunlight and uses it to make food is called photosynthesis. 10. Pigment are color chemical compounds that absorb light. 11. The main pigment found in the chloroplasts is called chlorophyll. 11. Stomata are small openings on the underside of leaves in which carbon dioxide enters the plant. An organism that makes its own food is called an autotroph, not an Autobot. Someone thought it was funny to say that in second period. It's not an auto, it's not a robot. Autotroph, okay? Autotroph is 13. A heterotroph is an organism that cannot make its own food, meaning it must eat other organisms in order to survive. So, please let me know in the chat if you want me to scroll up or stay here. I will do either of them for you. You just need to let me know where you're at as far as making sure you have everything written down for 4.1, which needs to be submitted to me today. It is absolutely important that you submit it today. In 4.2, we will cover together towards the end of the class. So you should have no homework tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So does anyone need me to scroll up so you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4? Yes, Sophia, you do. Does anyone need me to scroll up so you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4? I'm not seeing anyone saying yes, so I am assuming I can stay here for about 2 more minutes, and then we need to move on to the actual curriculum. So I'm going to pause the recording right now. Okay, so we have resumed recording. Now everyone has it written down. We're going to move on. I'm going to stop sharing really quick. And we're going to go to our PowerPoint. I'm going to scroll back up. We don't have tons to cover today, but we do have a few important vocabulary words that we absolutely do need to cover. And those are respiration and fermentation, okay? So get your notes ready to roll because here we go. The first thing that you guys need to take down, write these 2 down. You don't need all of them, okay? I'm going to read all of it. I'm going to explain all of it, but you absolutely need to write down these 2 right here, okay? Cells store and use energy very similar in a way that you or your parents or whoever deposit money in and out of a savings account or a bank account. So when you eat a meal, you're adding to that savings account or that bank account by eating food, okay? And your body is taking that food in and converting it to energy, and that's like the deposit of money, okay? So when your cells need energy, they make a withdrawal by breaking down that food and those nutrients from the carbohydrates from that food and release the energy from there, from those molecules. So the process by which cells obtain energy from glucose, which is, as we know, a type of sugar that's in food, is called respiration. During respiration, cells break down simple food molecules such as sugar and release the energy they contain. Okay, so write down the process by which cells obtain energy from glucose, which is a type of sugar, is called respiration. During respiration, cells break down simple food molecules such as sugar and release the energy they contain. You absolutely, positively need to write both of those down for me. So go ahead, write them down. And then when you're finished, let me know in the chat that you have it done, okay? I'll see it pop up. So class ends at 12:18, so we have about 40 minutes to get through everything. Thank you. One person's finished. Do you believe we have another one? All right, thank you. Great. One more person, and then we're gonna move on. Is there anyone else finished? Okay, I'm going to move forward. Okay, so I want to explain something to you. Respiration has multiple meanings, just like English. There's a lot of meanings for singular words, okay? So the term respiration can also mean breathing with your lungs. Okay, yes, that is respiration. But to avoid confusion, we're going to call cellular respiration, where it converts sugar and oxygen into energy, okay? We're going to call that cellular respiration. It's just set of respiration. Does that make sense? So what I want you to write down is the chemical formula, which is right here, and the generic names for these chemicals. So write that down. Respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 equals 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy, which is also known as ATP. Okay, so what all that means is sugar plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide, water, and energy, ATP. Okay, so write this down because that's going to help you on your handout. Okay, it's really going to help you on your handout because number one and number two, it's sugar and oxygen. Okay, so your raw materials are sugar and oxygen. Now, your products are carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, or also known as energy. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me know in the chat when you are finished. All right, 2 of you have told me that you're finished. Thank you. Waiting for a few more. Thank you. All right, we have another one. Thank you. All right, bunch of people. Fantastic. All right, so as we know, there are 2 different types. Breathing is respiration, and then there's cellular respiration. But you know what? Cellular respiration can't take place without breathing, and breathing can't take place without cellular respiration. So guess what? They are tied together. That is part of the system. It's really neat. Now, the next note, second bullet point right here, it says the first stage that takes place of cellular respiration is in the cytoplasm of the organism cell. The cytoplasm is kind of like this jelly type of liquid that is inside of every single cell, where the mitochondria, the vacuoles, the other alleles, the nucleus, and a whole bunch of other little pieces of the cell are in. Okay, so it's on the inside of the cell membrane, which is like your skin, for the lack of better words, of the cell. Okay, so take that note right here. Now, what happens is glucose goes through the cell membrane. And then in the cytoplasm breaks it down into smaller, simpler molecules. Now, that breakdown does not involve oxygen yet, okay? What it does is it breaks down and releases a small portion of energy by breaking those molecular bonds. So if you remember from earlier in the 7th grade year, we kind of talked about ionic and covalent bonding. So when you break the bond between atoms, you release a small amount of energy. Okay, so that's what's happening. You're breaking those molecular bonds down, so it's releasing some energy. Let me know when you're done with that one note. So one person's finished, 2. Really proud of you, everyone. You guys are amazing. I'm looking forward to being able to physically see everyone once we go on full hybrid as of Thursday. It's going to be great. So only 2 people have finished? What? Few more. Now, here's the thing. I forgot to just mention this. Number 6 on your thing that you have to fill out, okay? This is the answer to number 6. Cytoplasm is the location where stage 1 takes place for cellular respiration. Okay, another person has told me that they're finished. All right. All right, I'm going to move to the second stage. So the second stage, here's your note. Take this one down right there. Now this fancy word is called a mitochondria. Think of the mitochondria as like the engine of the cell. It's a powerhouse. Without the mitochondria, then cellular respiration wouldn't take place and you wouldn't have any energy and you would just not exist. Okay, so what happens here is this is very deceptive. Mitochondria are incredibly small structures, and there's lots of them in each cell. So what happens is oxygen comes into the cell, and then oxygen goes into the mitochondria. It's diffused in because it passes right through the wall. Then those small molecules that were broken down in the cytoplasm also come in. And then a whole bunch of chemical reactions take place. And then it breaks those bonds and those atoms are reconfigured into carbon dioxide molecule and water molecules. And they are diffused out of the mitochondria and it releases the energy and the mitochondria uses the energy in the cell to keep cell structure and function taking place. Okay. And that's how we can like do a jig and, you know, work and do our homework and have fun with our friends and play on our phones. Okay. Without this taking place, life really doesn't exist in multicellular organisms. Okay, so write down that top note right here, and then let me know in the chat that you're finished. Looks like one person is already done. Whoops, sorry. Okay, cool, thank you. Another person, fantastic. Like I said, you guys are rock stars. Excuse me. Fantastic. All right. Okay, how are we doing? Can I move on, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, no, maybe so. Hoping so. We're actually getting close to the end of the presentation today, and we can all work together and answer the homework assignment. So you don't have homework. Wouldn't that be great? All right, so the next slide. You don't need to write this one down. Just remember, okay, that photosynthesis and respiration are complete opposites. It's the same chemical formula, it's just reversed. So just remember that, okay? Just absolutely try to remember that. The products of photosynthesis are your raw materials for respiration, and your products of respiration are your raw materials for photosynthesis. And they both use energy. So just keep that in mind. Now, you don't need to write this one down either, but because animals use cellular respiration and we exhale carbon dioxide, well, plants intake carbon dioxide, right? So these two are like our balancing points. They help maintain oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere fairly consistent, outside of the extra pollution and stuff like that that's taking place. Now, you need to write down the first one, the second one, and the last one. Now, we need to talk about another process that does not use oxygen, okay? And this is called fermentation. So some cells obtain their energy through a process called fermentation, which is an energy releasing process that does not require oxygen. It doesn't need it, okay? It's sugar, an organism called yeast, and it produces two things: alcohol as a byproduct and carbon dioxide as a byproduct. Now, this is a natural process. Fruit ferments if it's rotting outside, okay? That is happening inside that fruit. It's fermenting and there's no oxygen inside that fruit. So what's happening? Well, then it's actually converting. There's natural yeast in the environment and it's getting inside of that fruit and it's decomposing it and it's causing it to change into a type of alcohol and carbon dioxide, which is really neat. So this process is called alcoholic fermentation, okay? It's widely used for many different things. So go ahead and write those three down. Let me know in the chat when you are finished. And then we'll actually, before we go on to the next slide, I'll explain 8 and 9 on your handout that is on Google Classroom that you guys have a Google Doc to fill out for the answers. Okay, but first, write down those bullet points and then tell me in the chat when you're done. And then I'll explain how to answer your expectations for your answering. Someone already finished? All right, thank you. Like I said, when you're finished, please let me know in the chat. I know one person is already finished, and thank you for working very hard to get done quickly. I appreciate it. Is there anyone else finished? Thank you. I just saw your comment. Perfect. Anyone else? All right. So what I'll do is I'll move on, okay? If we need to go back, I can absolutely do that. Okay, so we understand, you know, we eat food, right? We breathe. And then our respiratory and our digestive system, they work hand in hand. And then it goes into our circulatory system, and then it gets spread out. And then all of our cells are using this oxygen and this food to work. And, you know, woo, we're just having a good time. We're either hanging out with our friends, playing with our siblings, working out, doing sports, or just lounging on the couch. And that's still using cellular respiration, okay? Even sleeping, we're using cellular respiration. It's just a different level of energy that's being done, okay? But think about this. When you guys are like really working out hard, or you're playing sports and you're just like, go, 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 go. And then all of a sudden, gosh, I'm starting to get cramps, or I get a stitch in my side because I'm, you know, running so much for soccer or football or baseball or softball or tennis or whatever you're doing, okay? How many of you have had the discomfort of having a side stitch or like pain in your legs or your arms from like overusing it? How many have you have had that? I have had that a lot. I've done martial arts my entire life. I was a runner in high school and college, okay, a wrestler in high school. I totally know how that feels, okay? How many of you have had that? Please tell me in the chat, or use your mic. That's okay. Any of you guys? None of you? Really? Oh, come on. I don't believe it. You have? Okay, good. Not fun, is it? No, no. I'm sure, I know it's not fun. I remember in doing cross country at Windsor High, when we have, so high school, they do about 3.1 miles, okay? And on that third mile, you're just like, oh, I'm dying, oh my gosh. Especially when you're just starting to condition. It's like, oh, my chest hurts, my stomach hurts, my legs hurt, my back hurts, everything on my body hurts, okay? What that is called is lactic acid fermentation. This is your final note, ladies and gentlemen, so congratulations, you did it right here, okay? Take this one down. So anytime that your body cannot keep up with bringing in enough oxygen and your muscles are overusing and they're trying to use and create that ATP, that energy, that so you can just keep going and going and going, but you can't fit enough oxygen in there, your muscles start to ferment and they start building up what's called lactic acid, okay? And that's what causes the cramping. It actually breaks down your muscle fibers. It does cause damage, but your muscles repair, okay? So don't worry. So go ahead and write that down. And then I'm going to go over 8, 9, and 10 on the handout. So we have a comment. No worries. I understand that your Wi-Fi is having issues today. So what's up in front of us is the last note for today. Okay. Go ahead and write that down. Let me know when you're finished. So I need everyone's participation. Let me know when you're done writing it so I can jump over to our Google Classroom so you can see what needs to be done today. And we have about 15 minutes left of class, I believe. So I think we might actually be able to get everything done today so you guys have no homework tonight. Wouldn't that be awesome? Thank you for those of you that just told me you're finished. Kind of chilly in the classroom right now. I don't know why. Not enough to put on my jacket. Start dying of heat exhaustion. Okay. Almost there. Come on, guys. You can do this. I know you can. I'm pretty good on the chat and letting me know what's going on, participating. There's another one. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, guys. All right. So let me stop sharing really fast. Okay. we're still recording, just so everyone knows. I'm going to move this. All right. Move this up. Another share. Okay. So this is the PDF version, okay? So your doc version is just like what you did yesterday and what we filled out this earlier today in the period, okay? For the answers. There's 1 through 12. So let's do 1 and 2 really quick. Who can tell me what is the raw material for 1 and 2? Sugar and oxygen. Yes, good. Okay, doesn't matter which one you put it in. Sugar and oxygen or oxygen and sugar. Great job. Now, what about 3, 4, and 5? What are the products? There's 3 products. There's a chat. Carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. Very good. What is ATP? Oh, another person says ATP and water and carbon dioxide. Excellent. Yes. Yes. Energy. You guys got it. Fantastic. And this, teaching you guys is going to be like super awesome for the rest of the school year. It's going to be crazy. All right. 6. Where in the cell does the first stage of respiration take place? All right, cytoplasm. Ooh, we have a full sentence instead of just the answer. Yes, the first stage takes place in the cytoplasm of the organism cell. Beautifully said. That's like taken right out of the text, right? 7. Where in the cell does the second stage of respiration take place? Second stage of the cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria. Very good. Yes, that is exactly what needs to happen. All right, now 8, 9, and 10, I told you earlier that we need to kind of cover. So how does fermentation differ from respiration? What is the difference? And Sophia, you are correct. Yes, that's where it does take place for second stage. Good job. So how does fermentation differ from respiration? Yes, it doesn't require oxygen. So fermentation differs from respiration because it does not require oxygen. That is a exact statement from one of the students in the chat. It was set to private, so you guys can't see it. Good job, Brianna. Okay. 9. What type of fermentation occurs in yeast? Willow's got this one. Alcoholic fermentation. Correct. And Luke. Yes. Good job. Okay. Alcoholic fermentation. That is 9. Now, what type of fermentation occurs in human cells, muscle cells specifically, and it sometimes occurs? The type of fermentation that occurs in human muscle cells is called lactic acid fermentation, and that's Brianna. Yes, you guys are fantastic. All right, 11 and 12 are true or false. You can put a T or an F. That is acceptable, or if you want to write it out, you can too. So 11 says, the process by which cells withdraw energy from glucose is called photosynthesis. True or false? Think about this. We're talking about withdraw. We're using energy. We're not creating a storage of it. So Willow says F for false. You are correct. F is correct. Luke says it too. Excellent. 12. Respiration provides energy for cells without using oxygen. True or false? Ooh, Luke had true, Willow has false. Who's correct? Look back at your notes. Respiration provides energy for cells without using oxygen. Which one? Do you need oxygen for respiration? Yes. What provides energy without using oxygen? What is that process called? Brianna got fermentation. Good. So 12 is false. Okay, 12 is false. So everyone, we literally just did the homework together. You guys gave me the answers. I am so ridiculously happy with this class. I know we're still missing quite a few people, but you know what? A plus. Great job. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see how you guys do on Thursday in person. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be great to finally see everyone. Okay. So do me a favor. Make sure it's typed out in that doc with the numbers corresponding to the questions, okay? And you submit it now. So you don't have homework. Don't worry about it. Now tomorrow, before I cut you guys loose, okay? Tomorrow is an asynchronous day for my class. Wednesdays, I am posting a lecture that I'm going to record myself. There's going to be no students, okay? And it's going to be explaining everything that you need to do, going over the entire lesson 4.3. And then I will explain in that, that recording how to do your homework. I want you to follow along and do everything and submit your homework by that evening. Please and thank you. Okay. There is no Zoom on Wednesdays, not for my class. So you need to check with your other teachers to make sure that you don't have a Zoom. First period, I believe you need to do your check-in though, for absolute sure, whoever your first period teacher is. Okay. So great job, everyone. I am super proud of you, and I will see my B students Thursday in person. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. So, bye guys. If you don't have any questions, let me know. I will be doing a tutoring session here later this afternoon. So if you get stuck, just go to Google Classroom, click the link, come in the Google Meet, and I'll help you out. Okay. Bye.